Chinese unemployed female white-collar pretends to work at Starbucks, breaks down in tears for fear of being exposed. The wave of layoffs in internet companies continues, with some on the verge of being hollowed out. Liao Yuan citizens fall victim to high-interest temptation, lose all hard-earned money to finance bureau. Sino-Ocean Group's default crisis involves Social Security Fund. Real estate industry crisis spreads to state-owned enterprises. Zhejiang official website abruptly removes data. Surge in cremated remains sparks censored hot debate. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Chinese unemployed female white-collar pretends to work at Starbucks, breaks down in tears for fear of being exposed. As we mentioned previously, the 3-year lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic in mainland China has severely impacted the economy, leaving many large companies hollowed out. Despite the economic recovery after the lifting of restrictions, there has been a wave of layoffs among the white-collar class. According to a report from Hong Kong's Singtao Daily on July 16, a group of middle-aged individuals has emerged in first- and second-tier cities, pretending to work at Starbucks, under the immense pressure of mortgage payments and supporting their families. Dressed impeccably in professional attire and carrying briefcases, they hurriedly enter Starbucks on weekdays but spend the entire day idling until it's time to finish work and go home. Xian, a 40-year-old with a master's degree, revealed that due to the main business of her former employer in the food supply chain catering to corporate clients, they heavily relied on attending trade shows for sales. However, the pandemic and lockdown measures resulted in substantial losses for the company. She was fired after a verbal conflict with the boss's wife. Afterward, she was hired by an internet company claiming to be in the metaverse industry, but she was eliminated before completing the probation period. Xian expressed that during her job search, she repeatedly faced age discrimination. One company manager bluntly told her, "You're 40 years old, so you don't have any innovation left." Experiencing unemployment twice, she didn't want to worry her family, so she reluctantly became one of those pretending to work. When her act was about to be exposed by her husband, she broke down. She stood alone on the street and burst into tears. Reflecting on that period of hard time, Xian couldn't hide her excitement and bitterness. Xian is just one of many victims of the curse of age 35, a trend that has been circulating on the internet in mainland China. It represents the numerous challenges faced by individuals over the age of 30, including unemployment, being unmarried, and not having children. In June, an article when a 45-year-old middle-aged man looks for a new job, published in the Soho Public Account Daytime Studio pointed out that Wei Peng, pseudonym, a 45-year-old man, served as a regional manager for a Chinese home goods company 10 years ago. At that time, Wei had an annual salary of 800,000 yuan, over $111,500, owned a house and a car, and had over 100 subordinates. Wei Peng became unemployed this year, and despite his age and experience, he has been unable to find a full-time job. His attempts to apply for part-time positions at fast food chains such as KFC, Pizza Hut, IKEA, and Starbucks all ended in failure. Among them, the manager of a KFC store he met with candidly stated that they were hiring front-counter beverage staff at an hourly wage of 16.5 yuan, about 2/3 USD, and preferred younger candidates, preferably students. After the publication of this article, it resonated with many middle-aged men and women, and numerous online commentators have been discussing the topic of what can you do at the age of 45. They openly point out that the number of middle-aged unemployed individuals in China is growing rapidly, and the impact of middle-aged unemployment on society and the country will be significantly greater than that of young people. In reality, the unemployment rate among young people has soared, but the unemployment of middle-aged individuals receives less attention in terms of data and reporting. On April 1, the WeChat public account Finance 11 published an article by Yuan, a researcher at the Beijing Reform and Development Research Institute. Yuan stated that the current unemployment rate statistics in China are significantly distorted, and a conservative estimate suggests that the absolute number of unemployed youth between the ages of 16 and 40 has increased by approximately 25 to 30 million compared to before the pandemic. The wave of layoffs in internet companies continues, with some on the verge of being hollowed out. Continuing the discussion on unemployment among individuals aged 40 and above in China, we turn our attention to the wave of employee layoffs in mainland's internet companies. The once highly coveted internet industry, considered by capital as a hotcake, has also entered a harsh winter. According to reports, last year, the three internet giants Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent saw a net loss of 28,000 employees, and in the first quarter of this year, large-scale internet companies also saw nearly 10,000 people leaving. The wave of layoffs in internet companies began in 2018. The ongoing economic downturn has had a direct impact on individuals, with waves of news about layoffs hitting one after another. The employees of internet companies, known for their high burn rates, were the first to bear the brunt when the bubble burst. At that time, JD.com confirmed that layoffs would take place, and white-collar workers were left without jobs, spreading a sense of despair. Due to the sluggish economy, China experienced another wave of layoffs at the end of last year. In late January this year, China News Network reported that companies such as China HR, Nokia, Sharp, Gome Online, and Huawei Wind Power announced large-scale layoffs at the end of last year. Company mergers and industry consolidation have stirred up an undercurrent of uncertainty in the workplace, leaving people fearful and uncertain. Since 2013, some companies have initiated waves of layoffs, making it difficult for office workers to survive amidst the stormy circumstances. The report states that Xiaodan, a 35-year-old market operations professional, used to work for a large internet company along with her husband, who was involved in internet finance management. She says, "By the time I received the notice, the company had already gone through 3 rounds of layoffs, leaving only 1/3 of the employees in the department. Little did I know that my husband would also be laid off. Their entire product line was scrapped. I felt extremely down." Xiaodan explains that her former employer had a complete supply chain, from technical research and development to product manufacturing and outsourcing factories. However, during the pandemic, factories couldn't operate as usual, and post-pandemic consumer recovery wasn't strong enough. The company is almost emptied out. In addition to striving to save themselves, unemployed middle-aged individuals have also started to cut back on expenses. Xiaodan laments, "We just bought a house and suddenly faced the double blow of unemployment." With their previous combined annual salary of 700,000 yuan, approximately $98,000, they could have easily handled the new house renovation and a monthly mortgage payment of 18,000 yuan, approximately $2,510. However, faced with the reality, the renovation had to be postponed, and their plans for having children were put on hold. Liao Yuan citizens fall victim to high-interest temptation, lose all hard-earned money to finance bureau. A resident of Liao Yuan City, Jilin Province, Luchang, attracted by high interest rates 5 years ago, sold his house and borrowed 200,000 yuan, approximately $28,000, from the Xi'an District Finance Bureau of Liao Yuan City. Unexpectedly, he lost all of his hard-earned money to this organization without getting back a single penny. According to a report by Chinese media outlet Chutian Metropolis Daily, Lu Chang complained that when he borrowed the money, the Xi'an District Finance Bureau claimed an interest rate of 10% with a 1-year repayment term. The principal and interest would be repaid after 1 year. If the borrower didn't withdraw the principal, the District Finance Bureau would pay the interest, and the principal could continue to roll over annually. Seeing the high interest rate, he decided to sell his own house and lend the money to the District Finance Bureau. He lamented, "I thought I could earn some extra money, but I didn't expect to not even get the principal back." Lu Chang provided the media with a loan note stamped with the official seal of the Xi'an District Finance Bureau of Liao Yuan City. The description of the loan on the note stated loan, 1-year term, with an amount of 2 million yuan, RMB. Lu Chang's experience is not an isolated incident. Another Liao Yuan City resident, Liao, also borrowed money from the Xi'an District Finance Bureau several years ago. In 2020, due to a family member's illness, Liao went to the District Finance Bureau multiple times to reclaim the loan. However, the Finance Bureau shifted the responsibility, stating that the money was borrowed by the company, and Liao should seek repayment from them. But when Liao approached the company for repayment, they insisted on only dealing with the Zhejiang district government. On the loan note provided by Liao to the media, the official seals of Liao Yuan Yuan New Building Materials Group Company, Limited, referred to as Yuan Company, and the Zhejiang District Finance Bureau of Liao Yuan City are stamped on the front. When a media reporter called the Zhejiang District Finance Bureau of Liao Yuan City in the capacity of the borrower, the staff who answered the phone said, "People come every day, but we really have no money and cannot do anything." It is worth noting that in 2010, Yuan Company was officially recognized as the best integrity enterprise in Northeast China and an AAA level unit for contract compliance and creditworthiness. It has also been awarded the title of top taxpayer by the Liao Yuan City Committee in government for consecutive years. Wang Jincheng, who holds a 26.67% stake in Yuan Company, responded to media inquiries by stating that the loan was initially government-led, and the company was engaged in government-funded projects for the Zhejiang district government. The company was essentially working for the government. In recent years, due to poor business performance and weak local government finances, the repayment was not made on time. Regarding the above situation, Chinese media had previously approached personnel from the Zhejiang District Finance Bureau to inquire about the progress of the related events. However, the person in charge refused to respond to it and asked the media to inquire with the Zhejiang District Propaganda Department. The relevant person in the propaganda department, in turn, stated that they needed to understand the situation before providing a response but failed to follow up with any further reply. Sino-Ocean Group's default crisis involves Chinese Social Security Fund. Real estate industry crisis spreads to state-owned enterprises. The bankruptcy wave in the real estate industry has begun to spread to state-owned enterprises. Sino-Ocean Group, a well-known real estate development company in China with official background, has recently experienced a series of setbacks. According to Bloomberg's report on July 14, a US dollar bond issued by Sino-Ocean Group, maturing in 2025, was supposed to pay an interest of approximately $7 million on July 13. However, at least 2 bondholders disclosed that they had not received this interest payment. The report states that as the 25th largest nationwide developer in terms of sales, Sino-Ocean has been at the center of the real estate industry's debt crisis in recent months. Despite claiming to be studying how to resolve the debt and make every effort to avoid payment issues, market confidence in Sino-Ocean's ability to fulfill its obligations is clearly lacking. Currently, the prices of the company's US dollar bonds have plummeted to as low as 12% of their face value or even lower. This quarter, Sino-Ocean faces the pressure of nearly $380 million in payments. Last week, HSBC analysts predicted that Sino-Ocean may suspend repayment of all overseas debts and seek a comprehensive debt restructuring. If Sino-Ocean were to collapse and go bankrupt, companies holding Sino-Ocean stocks, especially the 2 major state-owned shareholders, China Life Insurance and Zhejiang Insurance, would suffer significant losses. Furthermore, according to an earlier Bloomberg report citing insiders, the National Social Security Fund of China may be affected as well since the asset management companies entrusted by the fund hold a significant amount of Sino-Ocean bonds. Last week, the National Council for Social Security Fund had requested asset management companies to sell a portion of high-risk local government and private real estate bonds to mitigate the debt risks in the property and local government investment fields. However, Bloomberg's analysis suggests that the bond sell-off by the Social Security Fund could further exacerbate market volatility and cause panic. Zhejiang official website abruptly removes data. Surge in cremated remains sparks censored hot debate. Since the outbreak of the new coronavirus pandemic, the number of deaths in China due to the virus has been a mystery, largely due to the CCP's concealment of the true data. Recently, the Zhejiang Provincial Department of Civil Affairs released the cremation data for the first quarter of 2023 with a significant number, sparking heated discussions on the internet. However, 3 days later, the department removed the data from its official website, and related topics and discussions were also blocked online. In detail, on July 13, 2023, the Zhejiang Provincial Department of Civil Affairs announced the statistics for the first quarter of 2023, revealing a total of 171,000 cremations. Netizens who compared the data with the same period last year, first quarter of 2022, found a staggering 72% increase from the previous year's 99,000 cremations. On July 17, Caixin reported that an office staff member of the Zhejiang Provincial Department of Civil Affairs said, "Some of the data inside should be accurate," but did not explain the reason for its deletion. The staff member also mentioned that there are various factors contributing to the rapid increase in the number of cremations, including the pandemic and time-related factors. This information quickly sparked discussions on the internet in China. However, the discussion topic on Zhihu has recently also been blocked. Some netizens believe that Zhejiang is a developed region, and considering the economic and medical conditions of most other provinces and cities, the mortality rate should be higher than in Zhejiang. Another netizen said, "These are just the cremation data. No one knows the burial data. I want to know the situation nationwide in December last year. The number of deaths from December last year to February this year is probably a state secret, and no one dares to disclose it. Is the national death toll in December last year classified information?" A Weibo user mentioned, Zhejiang left a blank for the number of cremations in the fourth quarter of 2022, but Shanghai happened to have data for the fourth quarter of 2022. With a decrease of 0.93 years in the life expectancy in Shanghai in 2022, we can estimate the mortality rate in Shanghai. In early December of last year, the CCP suddenly ended the 3-year-long lockdown without adequate preparation, resulting in a tsunami-like outbreak of the virus and a significant increase in deaths. Hospitals and funeral homes across the country were overwhelmed, with long queues and overloaded facilities. However, the officially announced death toll by the Chinese government was only 60,000, raising widespread doubts. Since the fourth quarter of 2022, the civil affairs departments of the CCP in various provinces and cities have stopped releasing the previously published number of cremations and burials. Based on this, the outside world speculates that the actual number of deaths from infection in China is enormous. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.